You're about to watch the Hibs Talk podcast. If this is your first time watching on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe below and answer our question of the week, which is, should Canberra still be playing out on the left or should he be moved back up front? Comment below telling us what you think, and let's get on with the podcast. Hello and welcome to Hibs Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
Right.
And making his triumphant return is Stephen. How you doing, Stephen?
Aye, not too bad. It's been a while.
I know. Aye, taking advantage of a Easter Monday to kind of finish your work earlier, so you're able to come along. So, how you been getting on?
Aye, not too bad. Don't tell my work that I've left early because I was supposed to come back. Nah, it's been good. Getting on with it.
Good. How about yourself, Dave? How you getting on?
Alright, aye. Should get the M&M music this week.
Aye.
Guess who's back? Yeah.
More work for me rather than just putting in the usual stuff. So cheers for that.
Made the effort with Game of Thrones last week, and you can't make the effort for me.
Why is it the last 2 weeks in a row now that I've started this? Craig took offence last week because I'd done Dave before him, and now you're taking offence because I'm not putting in effort for Eminem music. But that's fine. I'm sure I can dig that out and put that in. So I'm sure that'll probably break loyalty rules and stuff, but who cares? So anyway, so today we're going to be speaking about the Celtic game. Obviously looking ahead next week to the derby. We're going to talk about Darren, McGregor and Gray receiving new contracts. So to get us in the mood for the derby, there's a derby quiz which I've kind of come up with. 7 questions about Hibs and 0 questions about Hearts. See what I've done there? And then we'll finish up after that. So let's just get into the Celtic game then. We were quite critical last time we played Celtic at home. Obviously the Scottish Cup game, Hecky's only defeat, his third game in charge of Hibs, that we didn't really take the game to Celtic enough. We maybe showed them a bit too much respect. Criticised for not enough shots on goal, and especially not enough shots on target. I think we managed 2 shots on target the whole game. We managed the same again in the first 6 minutes, Omeonga and Horgan. Dave, were you encouraged by the start we made to the game?
It was a good start. Yeah. Obviously I wasn't there because of work, so I watched on this wee piddly thing. Not quite the same, but retail and Easter weekend do not marry well. So I'm just glad it wasn't a derby. But it was obviously a really good start from what I could see. Much better. That's what I expect.
I know on that as in the game in a whole. I mean, possession wise, we spoke about last week. Celtic hadn't domestically had less than 60% possession in a game. The only game they have had since in 2019, less than 60% possession was Valencia away. We can now add Hibs away to that as well because we managed 49% possession. Okay, it's still less than Celtic, but when you look at the stats and how much possession they've had, even like against Valencia at home, it's a great note of how different we approach the game. So Stephen, Horgan and Omeonga both had dangerous attempts from distance, but looking at the Omeonga one, Canberra was quite annoyed he was over to the left. Do you feel Omeonga should have maybe slipped out to Canberra?
Sort of some buts. It was good to see Omeonga actually create a couple of opportunities for himself and go for it, because that's something that we've not really seen. Like I was saying to you at the game, on Sunday it was the first time that I've actually seen him play more than a number 10, attacking the ball and getting round about the 20-yard, 18-yard line and then taking a shot on, and it was really good to see. Really positive. So I would say he was within his rights to take a shot. Yeah, it's not far off either. So
and I mean, Dave, looking back at it, with Omeonga taking the shot on, you watch Canberra, he turns around and starts moaning about the fact that the shot's been taken off. I mean, just before that, with Horgan's shot, Bain had spilled it. So should Canberra be thinking about that and making sure he's running in case Bain spills it again, rather than moaning about the fact that he didn't get the ball?
Yeah, I think he was a bit further out, and he did wait a second before he turned around and moan. I think the ball was already at the park, but
the keeper just sort of caught it and stuff. But I thought surely he should be following it in regardless, just in case there's a spill.
Yeah, no, you're right. He should be.
Anyway, so I mean, there's lots of talking points from this game, so we're not going to go through the highlights and each individual chance and stuff. I mean, it was 0-0 after all, so it's not like there's exciting goals to talk about. But in terms of another Hibs chance to talk about, the ball eventually came to Stevenson, who played it forward to Omeonga, done really well and kind of held off loose stick, even though he was kind of on the ground and stuff. And then the ball into Slivka. Slivka nods it down, and it kind of comes to the 6-yard line, and Shaw and McNulty kind of get in each other's way. Stephen, great build-up play, and you already mentioned about Omeonga's good performance, but good to see him holding up the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
Even once he was down on the floor.
Big, strong player as well. And I've said to you a few times, he reminds me like that Russell Latapi type player, where he's got the pace to turn a man, but he also can hold the ball up well and go at it. So, the boy was outstanding again. We said since he joined, the first couple of games took him getting used to, but now he's really shown in the big games that he can do well. So, yeah, definitely good performance again.
Yeah. He's I think his height is deceiving about, people think he's a wee weak player and stuff, but no, he's definitely got more strength than his height kind of indicates. And Dave, looking at the chance, if Shaw isn't there, do you think McNulty scores, or do you think it's just a case of Shaw's done well to be in that position anyway, so I don't want to take too much away from him, but do you think Shaw's just in front of him and doesn't get to it, and McNulty might have if Shaw wasn't there, do you think, or?
Possibly, but it's encouraging that they both went for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let that type of thing be like, oh, he'll get it. The two of them have went for it, and Shaw should have scored, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You can't be that far out and no score.
Next thing I wanted to kind of note was Milligan's performance. It wasn't like a man of the match performance or anything, but it was, I think he was quite key to how we played. 6 interceptions during the game. Stephen, he was having a good game and breaking up a lot of the play, and one of the BBC pundits pointed out afterwards that he felt that Hibs were a bit fortunate that they weren't punished for taking him off with the threat of Rogic. Is that something you'd agree with? Do you think maybe Milligan should have stayed on? Obviously we got away with it in the end, but
they were saying about with Malin having to come back and play a deeper role, and he's not got the same sort of ability to break up attack, but we managed to get away with it, like you said. And I would have kept Milligan on. He never put a foot wrong, but with some of the changes that he made as well, I think he was eager to get Agipong on, and just before he came on, Gray went down again, so there was obviously a wee bit of talk as to who would come on after that happened. But I would have kept Milligan on, maybe pushed him back even, and brought McGregor off for Slivka and stuff. But yeah, done well.
Yeah,
got away with it, so can't complain.
And he managed an 88% pass accuracy during the game. Dave, do you think this highlights just that he was doing as well, so the interceptions and breaking up the play. Once he won the ball, he was doing the basics and sort of giving it to like Malin and Omeonga to do the more complicated
just
stuff.
Simple stuff. Aye. You didn't really want the person that was breaking the play to be gone in wee mazy runs, and so aye.
And do you think that's the sort of thing we need against Celtic, and one of the reasons
definitely
why
against Old Firm
we've done well
aye.
yesterday.
It's worked for years when Bartley used to do that role as well.
We were saying at the start of the season when he first came in, though, like St Johnstone away and stuff, Dundee away, and he was he came in the squad and he made a massive difference in terms of just sitting behind the back, in front of the back four, and breaking up all the play for there, and then put him back into defence, and he wasn't having the same impact, but he's moved back into that holding midfield, and he's made the difference again. That's obviously what was reflected in the drop in form with Lennon before he left. So
yeah, I think there's quite a few, you mentioned there, the contributing factors. I think he had an injury as well and stuff, and we've spoke about how Lennon made a lot of changes to the team, but now we've got consistency in the team. He knows other than so when McGregor was out and he was dropping to centre back, he's been playing the defensive midfield role, making it his own and kind of coming on. So
he doesn't just break stuff up though. He frees up the creative players.
Exactly.
So Horgan had a really good game, or really good first half anyway. Turning in that, and Omeonga, he just gives them more scope to go forward.
I think it's a credit to how much better Horgan's doing just now. The fact that every time he was on the ball, they put 2 men on him. McGregor was dropping deep, and Azagiri was going to him and stuff. So they were really
trying on toast, didn't he? some Azagiri. Thank God we missed that one.
The one thing about Horgan though was you tended to find that in the second half he was starting to wear down a bit, and that was I think obviously playing the full run out in the derby and then coming into a game against Celtic straight after it, and I think obviously with the changes and stuff, I think that was obviously what's got him in the second half. But to see Agipong come on and basically make a for switch on the right hand side, it's good to have that option again. So
so next thing I want to talk about was the referee's performance. Hibs received 5 yellow cards and Celtic received none. On the looking back at the game, does that seem justified, Stephen?
no. So I think there was a lot of sort of diving about and players going down far too easy. I mean, the Canberra thing was a bit of a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, Brown was the instigator there, got away with it. Canberra.
What was Canberra then?
No, I know he was like.
It was
that
as if he was like sticking up for Omeonga, but it's like
you didn't go at like the full width for the pitch to push somebody and then walk back. And
it was a wee
didn't
bit
go.
cringy. Like, see, watching it and watching like the replays, it's like a pathetic wee shove.
I think Lennon knows Canberra's temperament and has said stuff to Brown to get in his head. And
Possibly, but he wasn't even involved in it.
He's seen an opportunity to, push him. And it was a silly booking to pick up.
Yeah, because it could have cost. I know it didn't, but that's the type of thing I didn't want. Like Canberra not today, because then the rest of the game, then Lennon can use all his tactics to try and wind Canberra up.
I think that's the thing as well with like Canberra playing out on the left. Like, I think he's like so ineffective at like big parts of the game, big chunks of the game while he's playing out there, that he feels as though he's got a need to get involved, and like it's wee stupid things like that are talking points.
Yeah. We'll come back to Canberra on the left in a second. In terms of other refereeing decisions, there was the one where Malin got booked. Fair to say that Lustig kind of rolled about and conned the referee here. 50-50 going for the ball, both going for the ball. Lustig rolls about, and as soon as Malin got booked, he was straight up and walking about, running about fine.
He's one of the players I cannot stand in the league. Is Lustig. There's something about him that's just I really don't like him. And he's a wind-up merchant, and that was what he done yesterday was basically cheating because he was trying to get Malin into baller. So
Stephen already kind of covered the next topic I had here, which was obviously the Omeonga Brown and Canberra incident, and he's made your opinions clear on whether he should have got involved. But Omeonga versus Brown in general, how do you feel that battle sort of went? It was clear one of the reasons we were playing Omeonga in the number 10 role was to constantly put pressure on Brown and kind of help keep him quiet. Do you think that was sort of job done?
I would say so. Like, I mean, he's done well. Like, he's obviously analysed how Brown's been in the last few games. Obviously managed to get basically 3 red cards for against Rangers in the Old Firm, and I mean he's been like that pretty much all through the season. He's been that one that just niggles away at players, gets them booked and gets cards, and I think Omeonga stood up to that for the best part of the game. And I think that's maybe why like a lot of the players, Canberra, Malin and stuff, were starting to get involved as well, just to try and like take a wee bit of the heat off Omeonga, because he was like bossing Brown pretty much most of the game. So
yeah. So I mean, next thing we're going to talk about is Canberra and McNulty. So I mean, starting with Canberra, I mean, Stephen, you mentioned it before, the fact that he was out on the left wing. He's received a lot of criticism online as well, and I kind of want to talk about the formation in general. But starting with the fact he's out on the left, how do you feel he's doing it on the left, Dave?
Some games he's alright, and he like cuts in a lot and like drives at defence, and it's effective. Some games it feels like he's quite quiet. I'd say I prefer him up top. I'd prefer the two of them up top. That's just my opinion, obviously.
And Stephen, there's been a lot of criticism online for him. Do you think that's unfair, considering one, how good he's been for us, and two, considering he's a striker playing out in the left wing out of position?
He's doing
a job. His work rate's not been deteriorated.
Well, I was saying to you, it's like he's there for like a diagonal pass. Like he's good, but like when he's good to getting the ball on his chest, but when it comes down to his feet, it's going all over the place. Now, I mean, you can't really blame him for playing out of position, because that's where he's been told to play. And when he comes off like onto the pitch again for the second half, he's always started up top with McNulty, and it makes a big difference. It's just a tactical like setup. Like Dave says, he's doing a job while he's out there, but it's not as effective. You need both of them up top. I think that when you've got Boyle back, and now that Agupong's back in the squad, and Gold and stuff are starting to come back in, that'll make a big difference in terms of who's playing like left wing, and like if Canberra can get pushed up top again.
I think it'd be a massive waste to go into next season with Scott Allen and then
Just
not
McNulty,
have Canberra in front of him, because that was effective.
Yeah.
Proven.
So I mean, we're talking about the formation and stuff, and Canberra at the left and stuff, and only one up top. We've been playing the 4-5-1. We're unbeaten, apart from obviously the Celtic game in the cup. We're getting clean sheets. We're still scoring goals and winning games. However, Canberra has not scored in 5 games, and McNulty has now not scored in 4. Is that a sign that maybe the formation is failing the strikers?
Possibly. We're still creating chances though, but aye, the two strikers have been quiet, but it's worked. So with the weekend, do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. So I mean, Stephen, is it a case of it's working? We're winning games. We're unbeaten. We're having clean sheets. So if it's working for the team, then the strikers just need to find another way of scoring. Or do we need to start thinking long term and think what effect it's going to have if they're not scoring goals, and maybe an over reliance on midfield? And
I think it depends on what way we approach the end of the season and how determined the team are to get a European spot.
Mm-hmm.
You look at last season, and in the last 4 games, what did we score? 23 goals or something?
Can't remember.
After the split, it was something ridiculous. Anyway, we scored 5 against Kilmarnock, 5 against Rangers.
Yeah. I remember scoring a lot. Yeah.
So it just depends on our approach, and I think that if we now that we've got Gold back into the first team setup, Agupong back and stuff, a wee bit less reliance on Canberra playing out wide, so we can maybe push him up top again and strikers start scoring, because that's what Canberra's good at. He's good at sitting up there, holding the ball, we flick pass through to McNulty, and that's how we're getting goals. So hopefully either one or two of them start scoring again in the next couple of games.
Next game would be great.
Exactly.
And just on McNulty, Dave, he's very much a striker that you watch him and he likes to play on the last line, and he likes to anticipate the defenders making mistakes and kind of capitalise on that. It's not the only way he scores goals, but it's one of the main ways he kind of likes to try and get his chances. He didn't score against a very organised defence yesterday. He has scored lots of goals in League One in England, but not maybe made the cut in the Championship against better defences. Could there be the fact that his game he maybe kind of over relies on capitalising on chances of mistakes from defences, and that could be one of the reasons why he's not done it had as many chances in the Championship?
Possibly. I've quite a lot of his goals that I've seen for the different clubs he's played with there's been quite a few good goals in there as well.
Yeah, he definitely can finish. I'm not denying
and
that.
I think see some of the goals that we've scored, it's all him linking up with folk. What was the one that they played at who was that against?
Dundee.
Aye, and there was one at Easter Road as well,
mm-hmm.
and at the famous 5 end.
That was Motherwell, was it? No,
don't know. But this is how good it was. I can't remember. and he played it back across the middle. I can't remember. It was a good goal anyway. But he was like this. I mean, he's linking up with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, is he maybe a wee bit alienated if he's always just himself?
Right.
And then,
so you think maybe you look at the game yesterday, Canberra's kind of struggle out on the left. Horgan had 2 men on him, and Omeonga's kind of concentrating on Brown. He's not going to be getting the service to get chances, and I'm just looking into this whole anticipating mistakes thing too much.
No, well,
you can say yes, Gavin. You are. Shut up.
Yeah, you maybe are, but at the same time, you're not really. But I just think that he's effective when he's linking up, because I think he's sharp. Like, he seems to see things quite quickly, like wee spins and then he's away.
Mm-hmm.
A touch, spin, away, move. So I think that's when he's effective.
Fair enough. So I mean, I'm sure they'll be looking at us at the training ground, and I'm sure that they'll be back scoring again soon, and hopefully, like you would say, I mean, it's just the whole argument of the strikers aren't doing well, but the team is, so kind of
strikers do other things apart from scoring goals, but they get the confidence for scoring goals.
Exactly, that's
and
the
you
thing.
need confidence.
How long can they not be scoring goals and not having as many chances as they maybe would like to score goals and remain happy and confident?
Yeah,
and doing the dirty stuff. So
you look at the Barron run that like Salah went on though. Like he went like 6 games or something.
But
without
he was
scoring.
getting the chances and he was snatching at them. He was overthinking them. I think this is more to do with the way we're set up.
Then look at the
Yeah,
relief
but
when he did
what
score.
I'm saying though is that like all it takes is one goal to get your confidence back.
Yeah,
And I think obviously with the injuries and stuff, it's played a big part on the service. Like they've not really been like having the service for midfield. They've had to create their own, and I think that's the thing with Canberra. You can't cut in past a player and then take a shot on or something.
Yeah. Next thing, obviously, the man of the match was Marciano. Stephen, just how good was that performance?
First time I've actually seen a goalkeeper that's been man of the match and it's been justified. The boy was outstanding again, but again, it shouldn't really be coming to that where you've got a goalkeeper as man of the match.
That's a good point, but credit to him, it was a fantastic performance. My dad said that's the best individual performance from a keeper, like one game he's seen since Andy Gorham. My dad has got a lot of games and stuff, but doesn't have a season ticket now, and took your ticket yesterday, and he was sort of saying
It was my 20 quid.
that's the best individual performance since Gorham. So
Statement.
aye. Dave, do you think that establishes him as number one?
Yes.
And for next season, do we need to spend as much wages on as good a keeper as Bogdan as a number 2,
Yes.
or do we get
I
somebody?
think we need 2 strong keepers. Whether Bogdan's alright with that or no is another matter.
I don't. But like Bogdan would take a lot of wages because he's gonna. He either need to accept a massive pay cut, or we need to pay him big wages to be a number 2 or a competing number 1.
Marciano's been out a couple of times. I'd like to have a strong number 2.
Yeah, a strong number 2. But do we need somebody as good as Bogdan?
Yes.
That's going to, or okay, do we need somebody that's going to demand the amount of wages that Bogdan's going to demand, or do we need to get somebody that's maybe 23, young keeper that's going to continue to
It's
progress?
probably the hardest position.
The second choice goalkeeper.
Aye, to cover in football, because who wants to be a second choice goalie? That you're going to have to want to pick up a half decent wage, but that's how a lot of teams do a cup keeper.
Yeah,
You see it a lot of
keep
folk
them
doing it.
happy.
Aye.
Yeah.
But they've both been rotating quite a lot recently because one another's been injured. But
And that's the thing. Bogdan's just back to the team just now.
Yeah, I think Marciano needs to keep it now, and it's his to lose. And I think it's good that he's got a strong number 2 like Bogdan behind rather than like a youngster. Or
Fair enough. I'm just thinking saving money.
If you're looking at saving money though, like you look at Dabrowski, right?
don't spend 100k on CCTV.
You look at Dabrowski, like in the development games and that, like he's kept quite a lot of clean sheets.
Mhm.
He's not a bad keeper,
How-
but then again,
aye.
obviously you've got to look at like what happened with Vertinen, like the last young keeper that we had as a number 2, and it never worked out. Like,
But that's the thing. How many seasons do we keep somebody like him as a number 3? Hopefully this is a guy that's eventually going to be our number 1. At what stage does he get progressed to number 2? When do we put faith in him to say, right, you're our number 2 goalkeeper?
he's been coming into the squad though when Bogdan was injured.
Yeah.
He was sitting on the bench like ready to come on. I don't think he's a bad choice, but I think like Dave says, you've still got to spend a wee bit of money on a
But
like,
when
number 2.
Bogdan had his injury problems in January, Lennon was apparently looking at a second choice to try and get another keeper until the end of the season. So that, I don't know, maybe
Just
looking
kind
at
of
it too
our
much.
luck though, like we go and buy a second choice keeper, like what we've done with Bain. Doesn't get a game for us, then he's now number 1 at Celtic.
I think if it wasn't Bogdan whose contract's expiring, I'd imagine we'd probably try and get another loan. It's probably the best way.
How unlucky did we get with Scott Bain when you look at it? I know we got Scott Allen, but
Aye.
come on, he's got to be Scotland.
Well,
number
you look
one
at.
now.
I mean, I know he's coming to us in the summer, but Celtic's done alright at that deal because they've got Scott Allen and Bain.
Yeah.
Aye. Anyway, just the last thing on it. I mean, obviously he's our former manager, so it kind of a bit relevant touching on it. Was that Lennon's last game at Easter Road? Basically, will he be back next season?
I don't think he'll get the Celtic job.
Don't think so.
I don't think he's good enough.
Did you listen to his interview after the game yesterday though? It was brutal. Like,
Blaming the players again. That
Aye.
sounds familiar.
He's
We'd have heard that before.
such a step down for Brendan Rodgers.
Such a step down for Hecky.
Well, you don't want to start disrespecting the boy that got us a
I
record
know,
points
I know,
total, so it's
I
just.
know.
But I think that when it comes to Neil Lennon, it's like he's so. Like, I mean, he's obsessed with getting this job that I think it's affecting him. Absolutely obsessed with it.
And it's not the thing with Lennon as well is that it doesn't just affect him. Like, it goes straight to the players as well. Like, he was the whole adjustment thing. He was saying that like the players looked as though they couldn't be bored the first 25 minutes. His problem is that he's far too opinionated in the media.
Yeah,
It just doesn't come in to keep it like behind, and that's obviously what got him in bother with us as well. So.
and I mean, somebody pointed out, you look at his results at Celtic. There's been, the St Mirren game. They had to score a second one to win it in the 85th minute. Dundee was a last minute goal. Hearts was a last minute goal. Rangers was a late minute goal against 10 men when the Rangers 10 men were the better team. Hibs 0-0, Livingston 0-0. There's a lot of poor results in there, and the wins haven't been that,
And it's with the same team that Rodgers was winning with, and winning comfortably with.
Scared to lose.
I think so. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets the job and if he'll be back next season. But I just thought we'd kind of ask that. Right, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to concentrate on some things about Hearts and obviously McGregor and Gray. I would just like to take this opportunity to say everyone connected with the podcast would like to pay our respects to Bradley Welsh. Our thoughts are with his friends and family at the moment through this difficult time. The work he did for the community was incredible and he'll be missed by so many. So, as I said, we're going to look ahead to the derby and then do a nice derby quiz and then finish up talking about McGregor and Gray. So, quite looking ahead to Sunday's game. Did either of you watch the game against Rangers on Saturday?
Saw bits.
No, I was working. I saw wee bits.
Mm-hmm. Fair to say they're pretty poor at the back. They concede a lot of chances. Especially at the moment, they just don't look very. Hearts have been a team that, especially at the start of the season, very secure at the back and built from there. But yeah, they seem to be conceding quite a lot of chances. They've got a very poor record away from home this season, especially with the second half of the season. And expected goals is less than a goal a game, 0.95, whereas the opposition are managing 1.52. So they're conceding really sort of clear-cut chances and conceding goals. The last derby, they set up a 3-5-2, and the last derby at Easter Road, they played a 4-4-1. I think it sort of depends on who's fit with them because the amount of injuries they've had. But more importantly, Dave, how do you think we'll set up against Hearts?
Hopefully very attacking. I just want to just go at them.
Mm-hmm.
But again, speaking as a fan, not in any sense at all. Tactical analysis, just fecking hammer them. That's my tactic. There you go, that's mine.
And Stephen, looking at the last derby at Easter Road, obviously we got beat 1-0. What do we need to do differently from that game?
Win 4-0.
Bit more in depth than that though. How do I approach it?
I think we just need to be more attacking. I think when we lost 1-0, it was mere sort of tactical. I think we just need to give them a right go. Like we saw at Tynecastle how weak they are at the back now. There was a lot of times where Berra was diving about in the box and stuff, and you got to utilise that as well. If he's easy to go down, if he's easy to go past. So I would say that we can
stretch them.
That's the one.
I'd try and stretch them, but for this game, ironically I've just said, but I'd probably try and use width and create gaps, because see, once they get gaps, like they're easy to cut open. You seen the second goal at Tiny, like we just sliced it through them like a warm knife through butter. It was class. The
biggest danger they've definitely got, I mean, you've seen it in the cup semi-final, seen it at Tynecastle when we won. Their biggest threat is from set pieces and corners. How do we deal better with the danger they possess from that?
We done alright at Tynecastle against it.
I don't know.
Just McGregor. I know Jim got a couple of free hits. But we just need to probably man mark a bit better and be a bit more clever about who we're marking. Probably wouldn't have Malin really marking anybody. He doesn't strike me as the type of person who's going to win a header against any of the Hearts boys.
And on that, I mean, obviously talking about my marking there, Stephen, what's your views on not having a man on the post, especially against a threat like Hearts? I mean, you look at Haring's goal. One, it should have been free, but if we've got men on the post, does that chance get clear? That goal get clear off the line? But also, does that mean that you're taking two men away and they've got more space to?
I suppose it depends on how we set up as well. Like if we're setting up with Canberra on the wing, I'd put him on front post because we didn't need him up front. Like I mean, you look.
Yeah.
The thing is with Canberra, when he's playing wing, like you can see him like sliding away back into our half for most like attacking play, and that's where the problem is because he's no quick at pushing up the park. So if our biggest problems like corners or free kicks against Hearts, I'd put him on the front post.
I think I'd put. I'd leave Horgan kind of further up and Omeonga on the edge of the box because he's so wee to kind of clear it if it comes out. But I'd have McNulty and Canberra both in the box to clear it. They're both good in the air. I'd have both of them in the box.
Just set
to help
McNulty on the 18-yard line and put Canberra further in. But I mean, it depends on how we set up as well. Like, I mean, personally, I would set up with two up front against Hearts at home.
Yeah.
I get the idea of not having folk in the post though, because then it makes, like you say, the box more congested and it stops them attacking the box. They are good in there, so if they've got more space to run at a ball that's getting put in and they're attacking the ball rather than defending it, then that creates opportunities. So having it more congested is a fair plan for that. But I like a man in the post. But also what you just said, we need an out ball. You can't just, if McNulty and Canberra are coming in and we've only got Omeonga on the end, we clear that, it's coming back at us, and then you've got the same problem because their centre halves are still up. There's no reason to go back because McNulty and that are not up. Then all we're doing is facing a long ball again for a different angle.
You saw that against Celtic yesterday as well. The last 5 minutes they had 4 corners in the space of 3 minutes or something, because every time the ball come out it's just gone straight back in, and there was another shot and the thing is, like, you do that against Hearts, one of them will get a header, like, and that's how Haring scored at Tynecastle. It's wee things like that, but again it depends on how you set up. For me, like, we need to really go for it.
Try and prevent the corners in the first place.
Exactly. You keep the ball
we're
in their
attacking
half.
them, they didn't get corners.
Exactly. You keep the ball in their half.
So score predictions for the game?
Honestly, I think we'll win 3-0.
Wow, I'd like that.
What did I say last week in my predictions? I think I'm
All over the place.
Stephen?
I would say 3-0.
This is the advantage, tidying up your room. My predictions are there. I actually said 3-0. I'm quite happy with myself.
I'm going to go
consistent
3-1. Completely forgetting what I put last week. I probably went a draw. But
no, you never. You said 1.
Did I?
Aye, don't think any of us went
right.
draw.
I'm going to go 3-1 to Hibs. So, and it's just before the Player of the Year awards, which 3 of us are going. Craig as well, and a couple of other guys. So. And a lady. So hopefully, even a point, if it's a good performance and a point, I think we'd still go off in high spirits to it, because we'd still be above them.
Nope.
But
win.
Want to win before
win or crab it as anything, Dave, and he's crab all the time.
Yes.
So we could be doing, we're not making it worse. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Okay, right. As mentioned, we're going to do the Hibs Talk quiz. I believe the two of you have got your soundboards at the ready.
And the topic is
the Edinburgh Derby.
Edinburgh Derby.
Yes.
I picked you up wrong earlier.
How?
You were like, oh, good, a derby because I done my revision. Frank Lampard manager. It's bad. That is really bad, pal.
It is that.
But it's brilliant at the same time.
Okay, so Dave, so I'll read out the question, and if you think you know where the question's going...
Do you want to hear my buzzer?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me read the rules out first. If you think you know where the question is going, you can press your buzzer and buzz in. If you get it wrong, you have to remain silent the rest of the time, and the other person gets more time to answer the question.
So like any other conventional quiz.
Yeah, but there's I will read out options for every single one.
Right, multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
I like it.
Okay.
Can we go with the buzzers? This is the
Right.
best bit.
So, Dave, what is your buzzer?
Right. This is an anticlimax maybe, but my buzzer is.
Now, say my name.
Dave.
Thank you.
And Stephen, what is it you've went for?
I like trains.
Brilliant. Okay.
It's like QI.
So, starting us off. So, there is 7 questions all about Hibs. And, as I said earlier, no questions about Hearts. So, which player has scored the most Edinburgh Derby goals in the league since the year 2000? Stephen Fletcher, Gary O'Connor,
Say my name.
Dave.
Gary O'Connor.
Incorrect. The other 2 options are Derek Riordan and Mixu Paatelainen. Stephen?
I like trains.
Paatelainen.
Incorrect. It's actually Derek Riordan with 7.
How good are we? I panicked. I forgot it was multiple choice immediately. You asked the question and I was like, I think it's Gary O'Connor, and then
Okay. What in which season did the 6-2 game occur? What was
I
it?
like trains.
The 2000-2001.
Correct.
but we never had any of the choices.
You just
I said that
I-
you can cut off.
So that time I was too relaxed because I was at one of your choices.
We'll get used to this. In the 3-1 victory over Hearts in the Scottish Cup 2016-17, who scored the 3rd goal?
Third.
Was it Grant Holt, Shinnie, Boyle, or Stevenson?
I like trains.
Shinnie.
Well, that's correct. 1-0 Stephen.
That's 2-0.
2-0 Stephen. 2-0 Stephen. Sorry.
Just 6 here.
I'm out of the following Frenchmen, who has played in the most derbies? Frank Soze, Zitelli, Appion, or Bouzelin?
I like trains.
Say my name.
Oh, but mine just got like a big delay at the start.
You press your button first.
Because my phone was
Who are you going for, Dave?
the most derbies. I'm gonna go Boozy.
Correct.
2-1.
Because obviously Soze played a year in the Championship, so wasn't against Hearts. So and they've played similar amounts of games, but yeah, I looked at the derbies and stuff. Gary O'Connor scored a memorable last-minute goal against Hearts to win with 10 men, but who received their walking orders in the first half? Was it A. Gary Smith, B. Jacques Viss, C. Ian Murray, or D. Grant Brebner?
I like trains.
I don't know who pressed that first.
Just get to him.
Brebner.
That's correct.
I knew that before. I don't know why I didn't just press my button. I waited to see if he said his name. Can I change my buzzer for just 2 seconds? Just please. 'Cause
Right.
mine's is too delayed. I know what it is. It's fine. I've got it. Go.
Okay.
Right now.
we'll stall while he's looking.
Something like that. Go.
Right. Okay. Which this is off the top of my head because I forgot them. Which manager of the following? So you have to hear the answers here, unless you can predict what I'm going to say. The following managers, who had the best win ratio? Was it Stubbs, Lennon, Fenlon, or Mowbray?
I like trains.
I'll even let you go with that.
Why is mine so delayed?
Who pressed first?
I'll let him go because he had about a 10
Safe.
second delay before he started.
It's not even the one that I wanted.
Who are you going for?
I'm going. The best win ratio is Mowbray.
That's correct. It was only 2 games out of 5, but
Yeah.
aye. I
Last time I did that.
probably should have done a thing that they had to manage minimum of so many derbies, but yeah, Mowbray is the correct answer. So 3-2. So this is for
3-2. Who you?
I
Aye,
missed the
3-2 to
question.
me.
I know, but 3-2. I was
Oh,
doing
geez, I've
3-2
got it wrong.
because of the
So
score.
this is for Dave to equalise, and I've not got a. I thought 7 questions. I didn't think you would get them wrong, so I don't have a sudden death one. So this is for Dave to equalise and to make it a nice draw. How many derbies have Hibs won since being relegated in 2014? Is it 5, 6, 7, or 8?
Is it both of us that can answer?
Yes.
I like trains.
7.
Incorrect.
Yes, that was a tactic for me to wait. Do I need to
You
press
don't
my
need to
button?
press your button now.
No.
You can't just sit and Google it. But
Who's googling? I'm trying to find a better Batman noise.
Right, you don't. This last question, so you have to worry about.
I need to get this right. I'd set up the grand finale, or this is embarrassing. Do I mouth it to me?
No.
What was the choices again?
5, 6, or 8.
Or 7.
That's no 7. I'm gonna say 5.
Incorrect. It's 6.
I was gonna say 6.
Well, you should have. So, winner Stephen.
Thank
3
you.
to 2.
But there's 7 questions.
Aye. You
So
just got the first one wrong.
oh,
You got 2 wrong.
oh. So what would have happened if it was 3 each? Though?
It would have been 3 each.
Oh well, I hate drawing anyway.
We need a 92nd minute winner though.
I went all out attack. Well, finish 3-2, I suppose.
Aye, I'd take that.
It's only fair. Thank you. I am the champion. Okay.
So I think that does need a bit of WD-40 and a bit of work on, but
Yes.
it was well, maybe something we'll do from time to time. Aye. So moving on to finish up the day, the news broke this morning. This wasn't originally in our notes. Darren McGregor and Sir David Gray have signed new 4-year deals. Now we'll get into the whole thing about like potential roles and stuff like that. Other out with playing, but is it wise to give them 4-year deals considering their age?
Do you want my honest opinion, or do you want me to appeal to the masses?
I want your honest opinion.
No, I think it's excessive. I'm happy they've signed a deal, but I was absolutely amazed when I heard it was 4 year. I thought
Especially
2 year
McGregor.
each. Then when I heard 4 year, I was like, oh, 4 year. I was like, oh, 2 year each. And then
I do-
4 year each. I was what?
I don't understand why they can't get 2-year deals with the option to,
Extend it for a
extending
year
them
or
or whatever. I don't know. It seems a bit.
Well, it's been. I suppose the length doesn't really matter, because do you ever really want them to leave?
No, they're
It's-
going to stay at the club in some capacity. I
Exactly,
think that's kind
so-
of what the deals are saying. But I mean, whether in terms of so I mean, you don't have to wrap ourselves up in the length of the contracts too much. I tried to put a question on Twitter and stuff, but I never worded it right. I was just trying to say what other things could they do. But we'll come back in a second. So how long do you think we'll see both players playing in those 4 years? Considering their both had injury histories and they both have limited schedules in terms of training, as it is. So Stephen,
I think this has got to be McGregor's last full-time season.
right?
I think that with Porteous coming back next season, it's got to be a new player as well.
So
Like-
this season,
What?
this is he's going to be his last.
It'll be his last full-time season. He'll not be a starting centre-back next season.
I think.
It was hardly a starting centre-back when Porteous was fit this season.
I would say Porteous and Hanlon are ahead of him.
Porteous and Hanlon are well ahead of him.
Aye, but
I'm saying that this has got to be his last season as starting centre-back.
I see. I think the way he's been playing, I think that next season he still could be a starting centre back.
The
The
thing
way
is
he's been
as well,
playing
he
recently.
goes in and out though. That's
Yeah.
the thing, because like when he was starting at the start of the season and it was between him and Porteous, he started fading out really quick. The only reason that he's come back so strong now is the fact that he knows he's got to be a starting centre back and he's pretty much playing every game.
And I mean, like I said, the limited training schedule. Do you think that could be, something we need to worry about if they're already doing that just now? And
They're both fit boys as well though.
Yeah.
Like, McGregor's still quite a tank for a 33-year-old.
Aye,
I mean, you saw how many years like fucking Davy Weir rolled on.
You can be a big boy in that, but it's
His legs
pace.
have went.
Aye.
His legs have went.
And sharpness and turning and
issues with his knees and
yeah, but playing really well now.
yeah,
And
no doubt about that.
And I think if you were putting the same question to me, I don't know if you were or not. I don't know if that was in the plans.
It was.
I'd say maybe next year as well. I think he's got another whole year. He'd been
The thing that we noticed with the game against Celtic was this was Joel Sked on that does the Terrace and writes for the Evening News. He was talking about this, how Darren McGregor was able to his ability to read the game meant he was able to keep Edward quiet, not worrying about like the pace or the ability level or skill level. It was his reading of the game and his brain that helped him keep him so quiet. So that's not going anywhere.
yeah. No, I agree.
And good to know that he can pass on that knowledge to the likes of Porteous
And
and Sterling.
you've got to sit there and bear in mind as well, the boy on your calendar, Mark Milligan, he's 33 nearly, is he not? Or is he maybe coming up 34?
33, I think.
Coming up 34, and he's still doing a job. Like, he falls back into centre back. The thing is, like, I think you can argue about this, and everybody will say, "Oh, McGregor deserves lifetime contracts, and so does David Gray," and that. Like, you've got to look at the capacity, and I genuinely think that when Porteous comes back, he'll be struggling to get in that first team.
But Hibs are clever. They're no stupid. I know we moan about them a lot of the time. Surely, a big part of this contract is like, because of their injury history and because they're potentially moving on to further roles in this 4 years. Surely, like, there's a basic contract, and then a big part of their wage is
pay as you play.
So if they're not playing, we're not having to pay as much, and if they're out the team, because they're backup players, we're not having to pay as much. Maybe a substitute bonus or whatever. And if they're going into a coaching role, we're not paying coaches the wages of players.
Yeah, you'd like to think.
That's how I'd do it. But anyway, we talk about coaching. I watched the interview. There was no mention of coaching specifically. They kind of talked about staying in the club in some capacity. They talked about some of the mentoring they've done at the moment. Work with the development squad was the way they didn't want. I think they kind of tried to avoid putting the label coaching on it. But this is what we said about Whittaker, and there's been no signs of that. He's very much still concentrating on playing. He came in at 33 and signed a 3-year deal. Still got another year left on his deal.
He can concentrate on playing all he wants, but he's never got to play again.
Well, I don't know. He's getting back to fitness, and Heckenbottom seemed to be pleased he was getting minutes in the
Lennon's
class.
not in charge now, though. So that was how he was getting his games. He'll never play.
So it is a really good thing that they've got new deals, but at the same time, as what I was saying earlier, it's all about, you didn't want sentiment to stop progression, and I want them to stay at the club. But I want the club to progress.
I think we're being a bit unfair lumping the two of them together. I know they've both had their injury problems, but to me, Gray, obviously out with the injury problems, is 2.5 years younger, and got a lot more to offer. He's only just about to turn 31. He can.
You didn't really even need to go on age though. It's ability, and like Gray's still a top wing back, top right back.
McGregor's still top 10 centre back at the moment.
Yeah, I would agree. I think my opinion's changed massively in the last few months. So what you asked me at the start of the season, or even at Christmas, if they should have got new deals. I'd have been on the fence whether they should even have got a new deal. Is
that credit to Heckenbottom for the way of his coaching and like Sir Robbie in that as well, and the systems they've put in place, and the likes of Milligan getting a constant run in the team, and Marcia, that apart from the games where the 2 games when McGregor's been out, 1 through injury and 2 with Milligan retaining his place, at centre back, it's been that sort of diamond of Marciano, McGregor, Hanlon, and Milligan with Gray and Stevenson has not changed, and that consistency and maybe the likes of the work they're doing in terms of coaching has helped us get the best out of McGregor and David Gray.
Yeah.
So long may that continue.
Another thing as well, just to ask, but you've got to think that this is Heckenbottom playing with Lennon's team. So when it comes to summer and he's got the opportunity to bring in his own players, who's to say that he's not already got a centre back lined up?
Well, one he had to. They were saying about this deal. One of the reasons it's been held off was because Heckenbottom needed to know they weren't going to, once they got their new deals, they weren't going to down tools or and that they were warranted of them. They had to prove that, and he's been the one to give this the okay. And also, we talk about this being Lennon's team and Heckenbottom getting his own team. He's said he might only be bringing in 2 players. I mean, I think that heavily relies on retaining a lot of the people we've got at the club and a lot of the loanees, either back on new loans or permanent deals. But he said, 2 players probably. So that it's not going to be a massively different team.
No, it's like so that everyone's like, that Heckie's at the wheel and he's got Neil Lennon's old motor. Hire car,
but it's going to be the same
exactly.
hire car next season apparently, with 1 or 2 tweaks, just like an oil change.
Yeah, he quite likes a hire car. I'll go in for a service, a few bits scrubbed up, and then he'll be back again.
You can safely say that like 7 out of the 11 players that are in the team now I would say are got to be in the team next season.
Aye, because like I said, Boyle and got
Well, in the team now, you've got Marciano,
Gold.
you've got Stevenson, Gray, Hanlon. Then you've got Slivkov, who'll be in and out of the team. You've got Boyle, who'll be back. Horgan,
Allen.
Zonadil, Canberry, Allen.
that'll be. I mean, that's the thing. Boyle and Allen will be like 2 new signings. Porteous will be like a third. So there's, it'll still be exciting.
Higginbottom's interview of the day was good. Or no, the day. I seen it today. After the Celtic game, saying that he was in love with the group of players and that, you know.
Yeah,
That's
good,
what they
yeah.
need, a wee bit of love rather than hate and shouting.
Aye. And then just sort of finally the Gray and McGregor thing, if it isn't going to be coaching that they're going to do, what roles could they potentially do within the club if it's not coaching?
You've no left many jobs, I don't think.
Well, I mean, there's
Well, they're not going to go and be like the kit man and that, are they? Like, so.
No, but like there's recruitment, there's development squad, there's roles within that, not just coaching but other roles within development squad. There's video analysis, but to be fair,
I don't know. They can find
a
a role over the next couple of years. I don't think we need to bother with that, you know, because they're still playing.
Do you think there's a long-term plan in place so they're just not revealing all the details? Because to give them 4-year deals, surely there's plans for
Probably just like you'll play the
Post-play.
next couple of years and then we'll wing it.
right. Yeah, we'll finish up there then. So good to kind of, but no, legends at the club. Delighted they're staying around because they're we're talking about McGregor's brain in terms of reading the game and stuff. Their mentality around the club is just so important, and just we need to keep that, infuse it in a bottle and get it to the younger players coming through, so that maintains at the club.
You just didn't want to see them like fade out though.
No, you don't want to see them getting dragged out when they're kind of
Ambassador roles and that. What good's that for the club? It's like it's alright for PR and that, but they need to be around the young players. If you want to keep Hibs like progression going, bringing 2 and 3 players through for the youth, you need McGregor and Gray around.
So we'll finish up there then. So what have you guys got planned for this week then?
This week,
I know you got Game of Thrones tonight, which you're excited about.
Game of Thrones, it's going to be like that. We're recording on a Monday now, so copy and paste that answer for the next 5 Mondays. And then after that I'll be sad it's finished. So probably doing a lot of crying. That's it.
What about yourself?
But the same.
Back to work?
Back to work.
Aye.
No idea.
Shouldn't know much. I've actually got nothing on this week.
No.
Apart from the football at the weekend. The dinner.
And the
That's
player of
about-
the year. Yeah. So
Aye. I think it's going to start raining and that, so I'm not going to be able to get
It's supposed to be
Not
our
tan
game,
any better.
23, 24 in the morning as well. Like.
Is it? Working.
So,
These things happen.
what are you doing?
Studying. I've got a practical exam with a nursing in 2 weeks. So just doing a lot for that and just sort of chipping away at my essay. It's not due until the end of May, but it's a big essay, so just doing bits of that here and there, chipping away at that.
And avoiding the sun.
Yes.
Jumping about in the shadows of trees and that, so you didn't burn.
I had to run to the car the day. And jacket over my head. We'll finish up there. So thanks for coming along, guys. And we'll be back next week. Hopefully very hungover after a great player of the year and celebrating a nice derby win.
Sounds good.
Nice one.
Cheers, guys.
Catch you later.